Monson.
It is sunny and 60 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Ursula Reutin.
Download our app to listen on your smartphone. KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. News and talk. Powered by the Pacific Northwest.
The Fastest 15. It's brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. They allow us to bring this to you commercial free. This is our number two.
It's time for the fastest 15 minutes in the news. This is Dori's Fastest 15.
It is a world of news in a tidy little 15-minute package just for you. We are also streaming our Fastest 15 today on Facebook Live. Welcome! Man, this is a big deal. That great enthusiasm, optimism about a trade deal with China.
I'm just getting some details on it. You want them?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so it says the U.S. is suspending a tariff hike on $250 billion in Chinese imports, which was set to take effect next week on Tuesday. China has agreed to buy $40 billion to $50 billion in U.S. farm products. And basically, they've reached a ceasefire in their 15-month trade war. And already earlier today, investors were really excited about the possibility. The Dow ended up 319 points at 26,816.
Yeah, this is... I tell you what, I'm going to play a lot of cuts for you, the listener, in the big lead at 2. But last night they had a Democrat candidate forum on CNN, and Trump had a rally in Minneapolis. And the contrast was staggering between the two sides. And we've got, if he has been successful after decades of the United States just getting walked all over by China, I think you're going to have 4 more years, whether you like it or not. But you got to listen. Wait till you hear the audio that I'm going to play in the big lead at 2. It's going to blow your mind. So we'll get to all of those things. What, Nicole? Nicole said mouth words to me, and I couldn't read her lips.
I was just going to say do the China stuff first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we have China stories in the Fastest 15. Before I get to that, can I be vulnerable for a second?
Of course.
So, I'm just in agony.
I know.
Today. I'm just in absolute agony. And I've been trying to hold off on knee replacement for reasons my wife cannot fathom. And I got stem cell a few years ago. That did great. And I was trying to just manage it for another 5 years or so. But, oh, my gosh. So I talked to Pete Carroll off the air because he had knee replacement. Because he's just so positive about everything. And,
yes.
And I said...
And that guy jumps around.
Yeah, well, yeah, he does. Yeah, he had a good... When that field goal went wide right, he went sprinting down the sideline. And I have such a mental hurdle and an emotional hurdle about replacing my knee. Because it's been a wonderful knee for most of my life. And it's allowed me to do so many things athletically that I've loved. But I can't do them on this.
No.
So I asked Pete. He was so funny. I go, so I just asked him, did you have emotional hurdle to clear when they're going to cut out this thing that allowed him to be a great athlete when he was young? And he goes, no, absolutely not. Just need to get it done. And then he goes, I'll tell you where you have to go. Do you have a good surgeon? I go, yeah. He goes, you got to go to this place in California. He told me the name of the doctor, and he goes, best in the country. Told me about a mutual friend of his and mine who went there. And then he goes, they have a 1-year backlog. It'll take you over a year to get in there.
I don't know that you can even do a year.
Then he said,
our listeners have seen the pained look on your face.
Then he said, if you want to go there, give me a call. I'll get you right in. Huh? How's that for a friend? I know.
Lucky.
You know what's funny is that, I've brought up the knee thing a couple times, and I get shut down. He says he's not emotionally ready, but Pete brings up hooking him up with the doctor, and
that and excruciating pain right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, but Pete's a guy.
Hey, I'll take it. I would have called Pete a long time ago had I known he was going to motivate you.
I'm not going to listen to my wife. I'm not going to listen to you.
I know.
That's lame.
But,
I should have called Pete.
I'm lame. Literally, I'm lame.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just talking about China, the trade deal. Couple other stories here in the Fastest 50. Oh, so anyway, if you have knee replacement advice for me, you can text us at 98973.
Which multiple people have done for months now, seeing you in here. But
I know.
they all say that you'll be surprised at how much you can do.
I need to get an endorsement deal for knee replacement. That's what I got to do. I don't have enough. I don't have enough endorsements, for crying out loud. Okay, Steve Kerr is the wonderful coach of the Golden State Warriors, but, man, he has come out of this NBA China thing just absolutely with his reputation so tarnished, because Steve Kerr is a real far-left social justice warrior, and he speaks out all the time about his support for gun control. He can't stand Donald Trump, and the Warriors are playing in China, as are several NBA teams this preseason. And so they asked him about the NBA China controversy, because an NBA general manager who supported Hong Kong and independence, China now is not going to televise any of the NBA games there. They are taking NBA merchandise off Alibaba, the Amazon of China. So, but listen to Steve Kerr's response.
Things that our country needs to look at and resolve. That hasn't come up either. So none of us are perfect, and we all have different issues that we have to get to. And saying that is my right as an American. Doesn't mean that I hate my country. It means I want to question. So we can play this game all we want and go all over the map, and, there's this issue and that issue, and the world is a complex place, and there's more gray than black and white.
What a despicable thing to say, to draw some moral equivalence between the United States and China. And then he's willing to speak out about AR-15s and mowing people down in a mall, but still would not say anything about China, which has executed over 1 million of their people. They have millions sitting in prisons and prison camps as we speak. They execute more people every year than the rest of the world combined. And Steve Kerr still, because of money, because the NBA wants to protect the billions in revenues that they're cultivating in China, he does his whataboutism, and he still won't say anything about China's human rights abuses, which are among the worst in the world. And then he goes off on another screed about guns in the United States. So it's disgusting to draw some moral equivalence between communist China and the United States of America. And then right after this, the NBA, because all the players are getting asked, all the coaches are getting asked, and the NBA announced that they are suspending media access to all coaches and players for the rest of the China trip.
Right.
And a lot of journalists were sent over there to cover this, and now they're not going to get any access to anybody to talk about anything. And it's really amazing. It's all about the money. China's red, but the money is green over there. And you know who's going to fix all this, though?
Who?
Dennis Rodman.
Oh, of course.
Commissioner Adam Silver, I know a thing or two about diplomacy. Book me a ticket to Shanghai with you, Ambassador Rodman.
You know, he already fixed North
He's
Korea.
He's promoted
for
himself to Ambassador Rodman.
Ambassador Rodman. Yeah, so good for him. Closer to home, Channel 4 had a great piece last night on crime in Seattle. And they, after their Seattle is dying, they are now doing more pieces on what has happened here. And Eric Johnson, I think Eric Johnson, their main anchor, is a fantastic writer. I want him to do my obit.
I
want to outlive him.
I have honestly said he is the best writer in this market.
And I thought that was on display.
And he puts his heart into it. So it's very, he gets very vulnerable in it too.
Yes. He and I go way back. He was working for Spokane, the King 5 affiliate in Spokane. And when we went to the Calgary Olympics in 1988, and I was there for the whole 2 weeks, and Eric was there, and we were roomies. We had the same in the Olympic.
He seems like a cool guy.
In the media village. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. But this is a great piece about the Asian food store, the Chinatown store, Uwajimaya, which does not even report shoplifting, and they are getting obliterated. And, I mean, this was just... It was a great piece, but it also shows Seattle is indeed dying.
In 2018, Uwajimaya virtually stopped reporting any theft cases. That's in spite of the fact that they continue to be decimated by theft.
I would say thousands a week, which add up to tens of thousands every month, every few months.
That's the store manager.
So why stop reporting? Well, hardly anything ever happens when they do report. These are pictures of people walking out of the store with armloads of stuff. For many who steal from Uwajimaya, it's not shoplifting anymore. It's just shopping.
I thought that was a great line. And they did. They had just picture after picture. People just go in. They fill bags, grocery bags. They just have armloads of meat and groceries. They walk in. They load up as much as they can carry. And they walk out, and but that was
so frustrating.
That line was so great for them. It's not shoplifting; it's just shopping. But what an absolute shame, because they're not going to be able to steal. Grocery stores have such thin margins to begin with. Specialty food store like Uwajimaya, I'm sure, is on thin margin.
And the CEO of Uwajimaya was on Candy, Mike, and Todd a couple of weeks ago talking about this, and she said, initially they were not going to report because they just said it takes too long to get there, but police still want them to report it just so that it's documented.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just absolutely crazy.
Sad.
Yeah, it's very, very sad, but another nice job over there at Channel 4 as they continue to chronicle all of the problems. Up next in the Fastest 15, Justin Trudeau is back in the news, and that's because, he had all those blackface scandal things going on. Where's my Justin Trudeau audio? Nicole?
It's right here. Sorry. It's going to be at the top here.
Okay, all right. Justin Trudeau, his thing at parties was, my thing was always when I was younger, I'd go as a baseball player because I always had a glove and a jersey. For Justin Trudeau.
You'd go real creative.
Yeah. For Justin Trudeau, he would always just put on the blackface and do even into his 30s, he would put on the blackface. So he was at a forum, and two little preschool girls got up. One was African-American, or not.
No,
they were twins.
They're twins.
They're twins. Okay. Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they were twins.
Yeah, they were twin girls.
Look at how stupidly politically correct my language is. They're Canadian, and I'm calling them African-American. That's stupid. That's how brainwashed we've become, that we have to use certain words. They're not American. Sorry I started to say they're African-American. I remember this, the Olympics, the Summer Olympics, a few years ago.
Yeah.
The first ever black person to win a swimming medal was from a Caribbean nation.
Mm-hmm.
And NBC Sports was covering the Olympics, and they said that he was the first African-American to ever win a swimming medal. He was neither African nor American. He was black and from the Caribbean, so we're just brainwashed. So anyway, these two black Canadian girls, preschoolers, they got up to ask Justin Trudeau a question.
Do you want to stand up and ask a question?
Why did you paint your face brown?
Ooh, it was something I shouldn't have done because it hurt people. It's not something that you should do, and that is something that I learned. I didn't know it back then, but I know it now, and I'm sorry I hurt people.
But did you paint your nose and your hands brown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was the wrong thing to do.
I remember I called him Blackface Shellac.
I know, but I feel like that was staged to give him another chance to.
It really,
it
just felt like they were told what to ask.
It wasn't
of course,
just spontaneous.
But then I don't even think he answered it very well in preschool language.
He's one of the phoniest human beings I've ever seen. And he scolds America all the time for our social failings while he dresses up in blackface himself. I mean, he's just a phony hypocrite. We will probably have some audio coming up for you. Donald Trump is talking right now about this deal with China, and this is a big, big deal. So we'll have that audio for you coming up in a little bit here on the Dori Monson Show. Finally, in the Fastest 15, we were talking about a few days ago, last Sunday, in fact, Ellen DeGeneres was in a luxury suite at the Dallas Cowboys game, chatting and laughing with George W. Bush. And she got bombarded. And, I know you and I had a little disagreement, Ursula, because I think this is almost exclusively from the left. And I think this actually is proof of that, because there are literally tens of thousands of posts on social media blasting Ellen DeGeneres for being nice and friendly with George W. Bush. I couldn't find one thing, and I did a big search last night, of anybody blasting George W. Bush for being nice to Ellen. Nobody on the right said to Bush, "Why are you talking to her?" But everybody on the left is saying, "Why are you talking to him?" And so she had this thing. We all agreed it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but here's a little bit of what she said in response to this.
But during the game, they showed a shot of George and me laughing together, and so people were upset. They thought, why is a gay Hollywood liberal sitting next to a conservative Republican president? Didn't even notice I'm holding the brand new iPhone 11. And
okay, and then at the end, I thought this was just very nice of her.
Tweeze more. And I have, but just because I don't agree with someone on everything doesn't mean that I'm not going to be friends with them. When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone.
Okay. And 100% agree.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, people on the left still do not agree. In a scathing op-ed, some on the left, in a scathing op-ed for Vanity Fair, writer Laura Bradley says that by being nice to George W. Bush and her comments afterwards explaining it, that she has betrayed her LGBT allies by publicly displaying friendliness with George W. Bush and then using the moment to deliver a message about unity. She says that Bush was the man whose resume includes the invasion of Iraq and the federal response to Hurricane Katrina. And it's just this long screed about how vile Ellen is now because she was friendly to somebody she disagrees with politically and then talked about it afterwards. Just, these are interesting times. And that is your Fastest 15.
This has been the Fastest 15 Minutes in the News. Fast. Dori's Fastest 15.
You give us 15 minutes, we will give you the world. I have an amazing story right after Ursula's newscast. The prosecutor in Island County, Whidbey Island, he posts absolutely vile things about Republicans, about Trump supporters. I don't think he can be objective in his job as a prosecutor, but you know what? He's going to talk to me about it next on The Dori Monson Show. This hour of The Dori Monson Show is